next question is, I can take Social Security between 62 and 70. What are the pros and cons taking it early versus late?
Yeah, that's a good question. I actually do an entire seminar, on Social Security maximization, and it's really interesting. So, the if you take it at 62, just to take the extremes, obviously you get a lot less. So, what they call full retirement age, FRA is the term that they use all the time. For a lot of people, that's between 66 and 67 now. So, if you're taking it at 62, you're going to get less, quite a bit less. And so the disadvantage there would be obviously, if you live a long time, you're actually going to get less in total. Uh, and so that's the big disadvantage to taking it early is just exactly that. The advantage of taking it early is that, if you don't live a long time, then at least you got something, or you could invest the difference, hey, I'm going to take it at 62 instead of 66 or 70 or whatever. And I'm just going to invest the difference, which, you can make a valid argument for that also. Although what we do is we run all these calculators and you can put that in there. You can say, okay, I want to invest. I'm going to make this much. My rate of return is going to be, X. And it'll tell you what your break even point is. So let's say I don't invest. I'm just going to spend it. My break even point is age 77. That just means, hey, if I live to 78 or beyond, I'm actually better off waiting to take Social Security. If I invest it, maybe my break even point is 82. And again, so you have to think about, how long do you think you might live and those types of things as far as that, taking it early. Taking it later, the big advantage is there's a couple of big ones. First of all, you get more than what you would get at full retirement age. It grows at 8% a year after full retirement age, plus any cost of living increases. So literally last year, people made, I believe it was 9.6% on their money, basically guaranteed by the government in that case. And so that's a big deal. You get a lot more by waiting till age 70 than you might certainly at age 62. The other thing is too, if you're married, and you've got a couple, the bigger one, whoever's going to get the most Social Security, having that grow and waiting till age 70 on that might be a really big deal, because when one person passes away, essentially what happens is the smaller Social Security disappears, and so you basically can make sure that the couple as a whole is taken care of in a better fashion by waiting as long as possible for the big one to take the money from. And that would, ensure the success, or help the success of the survivor.
Cool. So, I guess for like Social Security, if you're taking it now, that's like good. But for someone my age, is Social Security even like, should I have that in my plan? Should I be worrying about that or thinking about that, or should I just eliminate it and just plan for life without it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I get that asked a lot about from younger clients when I'm working on their financial plan. I'll hear, hey, I don't want to count Social Security and what have you, but Social Security is actually really, really important for those people that are retired. They realize how important of a income source it is and how valuable it is. So, um, here's the thing: if you can go back to the 1940s, and Social Security has been going out of business since then. I mean, there's when I go to a class, or at least I used to go to a class before the pandemic, once a year, and they kind of lock us in a room 8 hours a day, 3 days, and all we do is learn about Social Security, Medicare, and that's one of the things we talk about all the time, the viability of Social Security. And one of the classes they had all of these headlines, Time Magazine and everything, going all the way back, like I say, to the 40s. And Social Security has been going out of business forever and is still here. And part of the reason that it kind of needs to be here is because it is this really important safety net. For a lot of retirees, it's really the only income they've got. Um, and so, what they are doing is adjusting it. People are living longer. I mean, my parents, could get their maximum full Social Security age was 65. Mine is 67. So they've already moved it back 2 years. And maybe for my kids, it's age 69 or something along those lines. I think that's fair. People do live longer now and what have you too. So I think that works out okay. So I think yes, although I would look at possibly, modifying it for some reduced benefit, or having to wait a little bit longer to get the full benefit, because I do think that that's a pattern that they'll continue to do. It's not that hard to keep Social Security going. They just changed the rules, and there's a lot of different ways they can do it with the cost of living increase or the age that you get full retirement benefits and those types of things. I think it'll be here. We've looked at it a lot, and I think it's solid, and it'll be here for even for you, Ethan. uh, it just might be, a smaller amount than what somebody's getting that's retired now, at least at the same ages, and that's fair enough because you might live to 100. So